in the meantime, big news coming down the pike. Jeff Legwold of ESPN.com is reporting that Broncos star wide receiver Demaryius Thomas is not going to participate in off-season workouts while he and his agent work out a long-term deal with the Broncos. And Legwold quoting Demaryius Thomas, DT says he also has some soreness in his Achilles. That's not a smart thing to say when you're going into long-term negotiations.
That's the most disturbing aspect of all that you announced. We know, and you told me before we went on air, I didn't know, I now know, that Peyton Manning is starting his passing camp, meaning not the one, the Manning family. That's when you brought up, I thought, well, do we really care about the Manning family camp?
Not the passing academy he does with Archie and Eli.
Yeah, this would be in Cooper.
Yeah.
Don't leave out Cooper. He's actually the best of the Mannings. But this is the one where he goes to Duke, where his old offensive coordinator at Tennessee is the head coach. And they found Juwan Thompson sort of while they were there last year.
Yeah, because he played for Duke.
Yep. But I think that, as I said, he's been to the passing camps. He knows how to catch passes. He knows off-season training.
Yeah, Peyton invites some of his receivers down there, and it's usually 3 or 4 receivers. And Eli Manning invites 3 or 4 of his receivers from the Giants to go down there as well. And they work with David Cutcliffe, the head coach at Duke, who used to be Peyton's quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator.
Didn't I just say that?
You didn't say his name, so I was saying his name.
Well, nobody cares.
So it looks like DT is not going to go down there. And, not that Peyton and DT have to worry about developing chemistry. I mean, they've had some pretty darn good chemistry over the last 3 years. But it's not great to see your star wide receiver not showing up to that, and possibly not showing up, I think we can interpret this way, not showing up to any OTAs or mini camps if he doesn't have a deal done with the Broncos by training camp.
Well, I said there's 2 disturbing aspects to this. Number one would be that he has some Achilles problem. That's always troublesome. I mean, that could lead to worse things. So that bothers me a lot. Number 2, on the OTAs, you got a new coach. You got a new offensive coordinator, and he's basically the head coach. But you've got new coaches both on offense and defense, and I think it's critical for free agents. I'm sorry, the veteran players, and even the free agents.
Well, new playbook, new language, the whole deal.
Well, according to Gary Kubiak, he was going to change most of his language to fit Peyton Manning. He'll probably go back to his language once Peyton leaves, but that's not a pleasant story. Demaryius, I could tell he's a poor baby. I always use that for athletes. He's getting what, $13.4 million this year because he's a transitional player, and
franchise tag,
They could actually franchise him twice. They could do it again next year if he wants to play hardball. They can keep him for another 2 years.
Yeah, but John Elway did come out a couple of weeks ago and say, I am going to meet this offseason with DT and his agent, and I want him here long term.
Well, then why wouldn't Demaryius Thomas come out and say, I want to be here, I want to meet with John Elway, I want my agent? This doesn't sound like Demaryius Thomas.
Negotiating
This
tactic.
sounds like his agent.
Sure.
I don't even know who his agent is, but it sounds like his agent who's trying to play some hardball with the Denver Broncos. Okay. I'm bothered by the Achilles. I'm bothered by the fact that he needs to get with the new playbook.
Yeah, it is a little bit concerning. Again, he and Peyton know each other pretty well, but when you're inserting these new plays, when you're inserting some new language, not totally, but some new language, it's important that he be. So I would imagine John Elway is going to try to get this deal done well before training camp so that DT can participate in some OTAs and some mini camps. In the meantime, I want to know how you feel about it, all right? Shoot us a tweet at The Sports Show, or contact us at facebook.com/The Sports Show, or call us on Skype. We'll put you on the air. _sports_show. Let us know how you feel about the DT situation.
And I'd also like to mention here that he doesn't want to go to Peyton's camp, which is not part of this offseason OTAs, and that passing that up is not, no pun intended, passing that up is only going to do one thing for you. Emmanuel Sanders is going to catch a lot more passes
Very
next
possible.
year, and you may catch a lot fewer because if they're going to run more, that's going to diminish your chances. So you might want to get the long-term contract signed. Demaryius, pay attention to me. I know what I'm talking about.
Haven't read anything official, but I would imagine Emmanuel Sanders will be going. Owen Daniels, the new starting tight end. Cody Latimer, the rookie from last year, who's going to get a lot more playing time this year. And then the question is, Virgil Green, is he going to go? Because he's going to get more time at tight end and probably get more passes thrown to him. And Bubba Caldwell, who was left out 2 years ago, but was invited last year. Wonder if Bubba's going to get an invite. He's still under contract here.
What about Norwood?
Maybe.
He was the best wide receiver, I thought, in camp last year.
I just don't want to hear Bubba whining if he's not invited like he was 2 years ago. That made a lot of news. All right. Harmony Foundation, Colorado's premier treatment program for drug and alcohol addiction. It's located just outside of Estes Park. They have this beautiful private 45-acre mountain campus. It is insurance friendly, so if you feel the need, look up Harmony Foundation at harmonyfoundationinc.com.